Hello guys! On my last video we talked a little bit about anime openings and endings that I enjoy, and it kind of made me reminisce about those times that I used to watch anime religiously when I was growing up in like middle school age, and it's just been a while since I revisited that part of my life. I used to call myself an otaku. I wouldn't say I'm really that much into anime these days. I do appreciate the memories I've had with it, and I definitely want to check out more. I'm so lazy to check out some of the new stuff. So I wanted to go back and look at my old My Anime List. If you don't know, My Anime List is basically what it sounds like. You can make a list of all the anime you've watched and rate them on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, of course. So I haven't looked at it since 2020, which was when I created the account. So a lot of these I watched a long time ago when I was younger, but I made the actual list about I guess almost 6 years ago now, since it's 2026. God help us. I thought we'd go through and take a look at what my tastes were. So, first up on the list we have Junjo Romantica. I gave this a 1. This is the only one on the whole list that has a 1. This is quite an infamous anime. It's a yaoi anime. It's not like it was super explicit, I think, like as far as I can remember. I think I watched this because that was such a craze, like back when I was in middle school. You guys remember the yaoi paddles at anime cons? Like me and my friend had one of those, and it's like really cringe now, but it was just something that, you know, everyone was into back then, and like, oh my god, it's yaoi, it's whatever. Not that I don't appreciate a good shonen ai. I still read shonen ai pretty often in manga. Yaoi I'm not as much drawn to. Mostly because a lot of it is non-consensual and insane, and like the relationships have no substance whatsoever, so it's really not my cup of tea. But I'm pretty sure from what I remember of Junjo Romantica, it was a lot of like really creepy vibes. I know there were 3 couples, but I really only remember the main one, and I remember it being a lot of like, no, stop, and they keep going, and it's like, am I supposed to find this attractive? Because I find it very, just gross. I think 12-year-old me maybe thought it was romantic, but god, it was horrible. It deserves the 1 that it got, and yeah, that's about it. Next up, we have Comic Party, and I'll be honest, I do not remember this anime. I think it had to do with a group of people making a manga or a comic, whatever, and I want to say, judging by the art style, it seems like it's from the late 90s perhaps. I think it was one of those anime that was in like Big Lots, or it was in like one of those stores that they would just have random like single volumes of anime, and sometimes my friends and I would get those and just like try it out. So I gave it a 2, horrible. So I guess I didn't like it. I truly don't remember this. I don't even remember the opening or really much about it at all. It looks like the average score is 6.5, so it's not great, but I must have really disliked it if I gave it a 2. Next up, we have Hetalia Axis Powers. It's okay, this is a safe space. If you watched this growing up, you can speak now. This was one of those shows that when it came out, it was such an explosion of popularity, and I remember at anime cons, it was just such a like insanely popular thing that everyone was cosplaying as. Back then, I really thought it was like funny and cool and like a really interesting concept, but from what I've rewatched, the small bits I've rewatched nowadays, it just seems kind of like stereotypical and not funny, and I don't know, it's just not for me. So I did give it a 4. The opening is really annoying. I'm not a big fan of that, but yeah, I really can't say much on that one because I don't remember it a lot. This next one, I don't think I agree with it. Present me. Kanon, I also gave a 4. That's just not right. Kanon is not as bad as Hetalia. Like, truly, it's not. Kanon is really, really well loved, I know that. When I first watched Kanon, it was definitely like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be my perfect anime. Like, it has everything I like. It's KyoAni, which I was obsessed with back then. I loved The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. It was like my fave anime. And, it was produced by them. The animation was exactly what I wanted. The story was so cool. These girls form a band, a girl band, and it just seemed so amazing. And I remember watching it. I think I watched only like 1 season. I remember being pretty disappointed in it for whatever reason. It's been so long, I think it was just a little more slow paced than I thought. I might have to revisit it because I know people love Kanon. And don't get me wrong, when it comes to the music, I did like a lot of songs from Kanon that were always in my head. Giving it a 4, no. I'd go in and probably give Hetalia like a 2 if I had to go back and edit this. But I wanted to look at it on how I left it, 5-6 years ago. So I'm sorry to the Kanon fans. That's probably a bit of slander there. Next up, with also a score of 4, we have the Ace Attorney, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney anime. And I'll be honest, I only watched this because I was obsessed with this game a while back. It would have been around COVID, actually. It was right around that time. I had to consume as much media as I could that had to do with Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, and so I watched the anime. If you're not into the game, it's not a good anime. Like, it's really not. I think the only thing really worth watching if you do want to see anything from it is the blooper reel from the English cast. Is pretty funny because they just keep going when they mess up, and it's pretty hilarious. And the dub's not bad, I would say, but yeah, if you're not a fan of Phoenix Wright, I don't think it's that much worth the watch. Next up, with a score of 5, we have Karashi Kanajo no Jijo, which I'm pretty sure is his and her circumstances in English. I remember having this full series, and I had the English dub or whatever. I'm not sure where I got that from. This is an older anime. It's from the late 90s, because I remember the animation being a little bit retro looking. And it has a 7.6 as the average score. I gave it a 5. I truly don't remember much about this. I do remember liking it. I think it was a romance anime. Drama, romance, comedy, school life, that kind of thing. Shoujo is the demographic, so it would have been something I was really into during that time in my life, like that age. I think I read more shoujo manga, but when it came to anime, I was more mainstream, I guess you could say. Yeah, I really don't know if that 5 is valid. I don't even remember the plot. I just remember there was like romance between the two characters. Next up, also with the score of 5, is Ouran High School Host Club. Look, I know a lot of us probably watch this. Well, maybe not. Maybe if you're a girl, you probably watch this. I don't know how many men watch this, but it was a phenomenon, again, that was very, very popular. People were obsessed with this anime. But I gave it a 5, so I guess I enjoyed it a fair amount. All right, number 6. We're getting into the 6s, and I'm very harsh with my scores, I will say. Like, even now, I would still rate stuff really harshly. Like, when I see people's My Anime List and they give everything like 10s that they enjoyed, I'm like, no. 10 is reserved for what you think is like the best of the best. So, I would say anything from 6 to 10 is going to be something that I truly enjoyed, even if I'm a little bit harsh with the score. Getting into 6, we have Air, an anime that I've mentioned a couple times on this channel before, oddly, but it is something I grew up watching a lot. As far as like visual K, I would say Air was the one that I watched the most. So it's pretty sad, pretty tragic, but if you haven't seen it, I recommend it. It's pretty good. It's an interesting story. I think the beginning and the end are really good, and then the middle kind of is a little bit slower, but once you get to that last arc, it's a very touching but tragic story. I'll just say that. Next up, with a number 6, we have Kyokara Mao, and I don't know how many of you guys have heard of this one. It's very interesting. Like I said, most of these I don't remember much about, but this was a story about a guy who, I think he gets like flushed down a toilet, and it's a portal to another world, and it says that he becomes the Demon King in that world. Truly just an insane Japanese premise that a lot of anime tend to have. Yeah, but it's labeled as an isekai. Oh, the demographic is shoujo, though. That's interesting. I think it's because there was shonen ai in it. It wasn't like explicit, but there was some moments of shonen ai between two of the main dudes. So I remember it being a fun show, though. I remember really enjoying it. Next, we have Suzuka. And Suzuka is an anime about a girl who runs track, or she jumps hurdles. What does she do? This is a late 90s anime, I believe, isn't it? Oh no, this was in 2005 is when it aired. So yeah, I really don't remember much. I don't remember any of these. Only the ones that I rate really high I'm probably going to remember more about, but um, it looks like the demographic for this one was shonen. It was drama, romance, sports. I remember she had to run and jump over the hurdles, and the opening actually was really fire. I do remember that because they had an English dub and the normal dub, and both opening tunes, I mean, it's the same tune, just dubbed. The opening tune was really cool, and I don't know, somehow I got a 90s vibe from it, but I guess it was mid-2000s. Alright, this one might ruffle some feathers. I gave Tonari no Totoro, so My Neighbor Totoro, I gave a 6. I think, from what I've seen, I haven't seen all the Miyazaki movies, I need to. From what I've seen, I think that's maybe one of the weaker ones, like comparatively to others. I've only seen it maybe twice, I believe, but it's not like I didn't enjoy it, you know? A 6 doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it, it just means I didn't think it was like a masterpiece. So, yeah, I gave that a 6. Next up with a 6 is the Nerima Daikon Brothers. This is a fun anime, okay? I don't know if it's good, but it's fun. It's worth watching if you just like random ass... Like, I feel like if you like panty and stocking or like something that's kind of just like off the wall fun, you might like this. It's like these guys, well, it's 2 guys and a girl, and they like are in a band, but they also grow daikons on like a farm, and they're like, I think they're like criminals, I believe, something like that, and they have to raise money each episode for whatever reason, or they have to get some kind of thing to get money. They're like obsessed with money, so they sing their way out of like problems and stuff. I mean, it's not the best anime, but it's entertaining for sure. So yeah, that's just like a straight up comedy, but yeah, again, very entertaining. I know this is not good. I gave Clanad a 6. I always pronounced it Clanad, so that's just how I'm going to say it. I'm not really sure of the right pronunciation. Almost everyone I know who's watched this gives this, like, I would say it's like their favorite, or they give it like they'd give it a 10, I would assume. And I totally get that. I think just for me, when I watched it, I had hyped it up so much in my head, and it wasn't exactly what I was like expecting. I don't want to ruffle too many feathers, but yeah, I gave it a 6. I mean, looking at it now, I might move it to a 7. I'm not sure. I'd have to rewatch it, of course. I don't think I put it on here, but I did watch the after story as well, and that was, yeah, good. It was good. It's just, I don't know, I get kind of depressed when I think about that anime. Music is insanely good. The opening for the after story is one of like my favorite. I should have included that on my favorite anime opening list, but I absolutely love that opening song. Next, with a 6 as well, we have Ponyo, the movie Ponyo. I don't know. I think, looking at it now, I think I'd give Ponyo lower than Totoro, at least. Like, I'd give maybe Ponyo a 5. Not that I didn't like it. I just think it wasn't amazing to me, as far as like Miyazaki movies go. And then with another 6, we have the OVA for Lucky Star. Really don't know why this is a 6. You know, I do know why, because I grew up loving Lucky Star. It was one of my favorite anime, and I consumed so much Lucky Star stuff. So to me, this was probably really fun. I loved seeing Kagami dressed as Miku Hatsune. Konata was dressed as Yuki from Haruhi. So, you know, back then it was like, I was obsessed with the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. That was like my goat. So Lucky Star was pretty adjacent to being into Haruhi. By the way, was Haruhi ever finished? I think I looked into it a while ago. I never got a clear answer. But I think the guy who writes the novels or writes the original story never finished it, or it's just on like permanent hiatus or something. Alright, we're getting into 7 territory. The first 7 we have is, by the way, if they're all rated the same, they're not really in an order, they're just kind of random. But the next 7 I have is Kodocha, or Kodomo no Omocha, which is a 90s anime about a girl who's a famous actress, but she also just goes to like normal school. It has a lot of heavy themes for being a, I guess, children's anime. I made a little video on it before where I'm drawing and kind of talking about it because I rewatched it somewhat recently. So yeah, I would stick with that. I think that's about a 7. It's a pretty fun anime. I have good memories with that one. And the next 7 is Kanon. Kanon? I always said Kanon. This is another KyoAni animation. I'm kind of surprised I put this above Clannad. I mean, I don't remember much of either, but somehow I thought I liked Clannad more than Kanon, but maybe I didn't. Kanon, it's one of those stories again that it's like kind of a harem, but it's not in like an erotic way. It's just like a guy and there's a bunch of main female characters and they all have these different storylines, and usually there's a lot of really touching moments. I'm pretty sure Kanon was a little bit happier than Clannad, so maybe that's why I liked it more. I really just can't remember, but yeah, I gave it a 7. The next 7 we have is Toki wo Kakeru Shoujo, which I believe is called The Girl Who Leapt Through Time in English. Gosh, it's been so long since I've seen this movie, but I remember really, really liking it. I think I watched it like on YouTube when I was younger because someone uploaded it, the full movie. I'll have to rewatch that one. And I remember the animation style I really loved. But it has a specific type of animation that I found very charming. And this has an 8, like the average score, so mine's a little lower than the average. But if you haven't seen that, I recommend it. And I gotta rewatch it. It's been so long. You know, there's so many really good anime movies that I need to catch up on. The next one is also an anime movie that I rated a 7, Promare. I hope that's how you say it, Promare. This is fairly recent. I think it came out around COVID, I want to say. Oh, it came out in 2019, at least maybe in Japan, I don't know. I don't know if I'd give this a 7. Like, thinking back to it, I think it's more of a 6 maybe. I'd have to rewatch it again. It's been a little bit. I think I made this list when that was really fresh in my mind and I was really a little bit more into it. But now that it's kind of faded, the memory, I don't know if it was really that good. I remember the animation being beautiful though. Okay, we're in 8 territory. If you want to roast me for these picks, by all means, because I'm sure a lot of these are probably going to anger people. The next one I have is Lucky Star with an 8. I completely agree with that even now. Lucky Star is like so great, and people say it's like an anime about nothing, but I kind of like that about it. It's like a comfort anime for me. You know, you can just throw on an episode and you don't really have to know the lore, I guess. Like, it's kind of like a sitcom. You can just turn it on and follow the story from there. And there's usually not a lot of story. It's a lot of just having conversations, you know, similar to like Azumanga Daioh, if you ever watched that. And it's just like cute anime girls talking about stuff. The next 8 is Suzumiya Haruhi no Yutsu, or The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. This had a chokehold on me when I was growing up. I was Haruhi for Halloween. I wore that cosplay to a lot of places. I kind of have like salty memories at the same time because I never finished it. I really gotta look up if it was ever finished because I don't think it was. Not just the anime, just the general story. Next up with an 8, Summer Wars. This is another anime movie that I owned when I was younger, and I rewatched this so many times. I loved this movie so much. I actually want to see what the average is, if it's that high. Yeah, the average is right at an 8. So I would agree with that. I think it's the same animation as The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. I want to say it looks the same. But this is a very interesting movie. And it came out in 2009. It's just very unique. So I think if you like anime films in general, Summer Wars is definitely worth checking out if you haven't seen it. Has really good music too. Next up with an 8, we have Kimi no Nawa, or Your Name, I guess is the English title. I think most people would probably give this like a 10, a 9 or a 10, which is fair. I just thought it wasn't quite my favorite anime movie. I've only seen it once, like around the time when it came out, and I had really high expectations because everyone was talking about Your Name is so good. And it was really, really good, don't get me wrong. But I don't think it's quite a 9 or a 10 for me, personally. These are all movies, I gotta say. The next 3 are movies. But the next one is Spirited Away. I might, if it's me now, I might even move that to a 10. I think it might be perfect. It's just It's such an amazing film. I don't know, it takes me, literally takes me to another world, and it's like so nostalgic feeling to me, and the music's incredible, of course. Oh my gosh, One Summer's Day is one of my favorite compositions like ever in anything, not even just film, just Joe Hisaishi is amazing, and it just gives you that certain feeling. It like, I don't know, it's really hard to explain, especially if you grew up watching it too. It's just a very magical film. Next up with a 9 is The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya, which is the film for Haruhi, and I would agree with that. In the times that I've rewatched it, never gets old to me. I absolutely love this movie, and it's one of those movies where you do need to watch the anime first because there's a lot of lore and it's very complicated. Even if you know the lore, when you watch it, it's kind of confusing. But the music in this film is absolutely incredible. I re-listen to the soundtrack for this film all the time. The animation is beautiful, the story is just wonderful, and it sets up all these different like foreshadowing and plot points that I guess were never really touched on as much later. In the manga they probably were, but it just got me so excited, like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Because all these things are intertwined, and it was very exciting to watch and emotional too. It was just a great movie all around, so I really like that one. If you've watched the anime and haven't watched that, you gotta watch that. Dub is really good on that one too. Next up with a 9, we have Koe no Katachi. I think this is called it's called A Silent Voice. That's what it's called in English. This has an 8.9 rating. I gave it a 9. I actually prefer this over, say, Your Name. This movie was just extremely touching to me. I haven't really watched it again since it came out. I think I watched it like twice around the time it came out. But it's so beautiful. It's a wonderful, wonderful film. I have 110 on this list. And if you've watched my channel, you probably know what's at number 10. And it's probably not valid to a lot of people, but Death Note. I gave Death Note a 10. And I would still agree with that, because like for me personally, it's just something I get in these moods where I'm like, I gotta rewatch Death Note, I gotta reread Death Note. And yeah, the anime is not nearly as strong as the manga, but there's like a certain vibe with the anime, and that's what I watched. I watched the anime before I read the manga, so growing up with it, there's that attachment too. But like the soundtrack and some of the certain things that happen in the anime, especially season 1, I think was a 10. I really do. Season 2, of course, debatable. I know a lot of people don't like season 2, but I wouldn't say it's like bad by any means. For me, Death Note has always been my favorite, like ever since I watched it. It's so unique. A lot of it is not really action packed, even though people are dying. It's not like they're going out and killing people, they're going out and fighting people. Light's like doing it from his room, and just the whole quiet like cat and mouse thing, it had me by the balls. I loved this anime. I still love it. I would still give it a 10 for sure. If you disagree, that's valid, but that's my all-time fave. So let me know what you guys think about this list, and if you agree or disagree. I respect your opinion, but that's about it for tonight, so thank you for watching. Bye.